The Democrats finally got Mitt Romney to talk about his taxes.
You know, any day that Mitt Romney is not talking about employment and jobs and the state of the economy is a good day for the Obama campaign. And that's what happened yesterday when Mitt Romney was doing an event on Medicare, which was this week's chosen topic. He was asked about his tax returns, and for the first time, he said something substantive. He said, and specific, he said that the past 10 years he's paid at least 13% of his income in taxes. Now, for most of us, that doesn't sound like very much. Most of us pay a lot more than 13%. But it fueled the whole debate about his taxes, which the Romney people see as a real diversionary tactic, and the Obama people see as something which reinforces the idea that this is a rich guy who doesn't live by the rules that govern everybody else.
So, Major Garrett, why did Romney even rise to the occasion? Why did he even take this on?
My suspicion is because he was asked by a voter, and to front off a voter to ignore a question like that takes it out of the typical political back and forth and essentially tells that voter and every other voter along the way, you can ask, but I'm not going to answer your direct question. If it's important to a voter, it oftentimes is at least temporarily important to a political candidate. And I think Susan's right. There's a couple of issues at work here. I was in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, and David Axelrod, senior advisor to the president, said, you know, Mitt Romney has been very collaborative with us in this narrative that we've been trying to portray, that he is at balance secretive. His default proposition is to be less revealing and less transparent than we think he ought to be. Now, campaigns can disagree about that, but the collaborative thing caught my ear because from the Obama campaign's point of view, Romney says, I don't want to give out my taxes, makes him look secretive. He doesn't want to talk about the hard drives that they took when he was Massachusetts governor so people could look into that. There are Olympic records that are not fully available. There's documentation that is in conflict about when he left Bain Capital. All these things, from the Obama campaign's perspective, put together a narrative that Romney is less publicly available than most presidential campaigns historically have been. The Romney campaign, as Susan accurately said, describes that as a diversion or a distraction. The one thing I've learned in presidential politics is candidates don't get to decide what a distraction is. If voters care about it, it's not a distraction. You have to deal with it. And I would only say one other thing. And that 13%, that's not exactly the luckiest number in the in numerology, but he also said if you add all my charitable contributions, it would have been much closer to 20%, which would be a politically more palatable number, but I think the one that is going to be tattooed on his campaign bus by Democrats is 13.
Okay, now we have to take his word for it that he has paid at least 13% in taxes over the last 10 years. But now the issue is his tax returns, right, Lisa? And the White House is coming out with some very specific demands about revealing his tax returns.
Right. The White House sent a letter over to the Romney, the Obama campaign, we should say, sent a letter over to the Romney campaign this morning saying that they want to see 5 years of returns. So back to 2007, 3 more years than he's given out already. I suspect they want to see those years because there's a lot of speculation about what exactly is in these tax returns. Now, he's given us his rate, but we haven't seen the papers. And a lot of that speculation centers on what his finances did during the economic downturn. And one popular theory, and these are all theories, of course, because no one has any idea, is that he profited off the subprime mortgage meltdown, which, of course, politically would look really bad. So I suspect that's why the other popular theory I should mention is that he also, because his money comes entirely from investment income, that he was able to write down a lot of his losses, and that helped lower his rate. Those are politically pretty unpalatable things, I think, to a lot of voters. And I suspect that's why the Obama campaign wants those specific years and set the bar at 2007.